Okay, so we're revisiting problem 25 to talk about the domain of those functions that we evaluated. So 25a, we have f of x is equal to 6 minus 2x. And again, this is, the radical here is even. So there's an invisible 2 if you want to think of it like that. And if the radical is even, so even, and for the radical implies, I want to write here inside. So what does that mean for even and for you to have a domain that makes sense for real numbers? It implies that the inside, whatever you have on the inside, has to be greater than or equal to 0. So in this case, you have 6 minus 2x on the inside. It has to be greater than or equal to 0 because you're dealing with some even n. And so what you can do here is, I'll go the straightforward way, subtract 6 from both sides. And I have negative 2x is greater than or equal to 0 minus 6 is negative 6. And now I want to divide, by negative 2. So if I'm going to divide by a negative, I have to switch to inequality. So that gives me x is less than or equal to 3. And you can see here, that's what you want. You want x to be less than or equal to 3 because you don't want to have a negative here. For instance, if x is 4, you would have 6 minus 2 times 4, which is going to be 6 minus 8. And so that's going to give you a negative, which we don't want. Anyway, in interval notation, this domain, so this is a domain. Domain is x is less than or equal to less than or equal to 3. And in interval notation, the domain would just be, interval notation, the domain would just be negative infinity all the way up to 3. So this is a domain. This can be written like this. It can be written like that, all right? This is a domain. Okay, so let me run this another minute to do part. Which one should I do? Part B is a little similar. Let's do C. So I'm going to do 25C, and I have f of x is equal to cube root of 6 minus 3x. And this is pretty cool because this is odd. So if n is odd, then this n here, again, if this is odd, inside, doesn't matter what's on the inside, that's odd, okay? So if this is odd, then this implies that the domain is all real numbers. So the domain is all real numbers, which is negative infinity to positive infinity. Written like that, all right? Cool. So that's gonna be, all right, let's just do part D. So we're just gonna be a little longer. Part D, so I have f of x is equal to 4th root of 6x plus 3. All right, and so this is even. So that means if it's even, you want 6x plus 3 to be greater than or equal to 0. And what we talked about before for the first one, first example we did. So now we're going to have to subtract 3 from both sides. And you're going to have 6x is greater than or equal to negative 3. x 6x, you're going to divide by 6. Alright, and so that's just going to mean that x is greater than or equal to negative 1/2, right? That's the domain. Again, you don't want the negative on the inside here if you're dealing with an even root, alright? So how you write that in interval notation, you're going to write from negative negative 1/2 all the way up to going towards positive infinity. By the way, check the video I made. I might have made a mistake where I should have used a square bracket and I used parentheses. So please forgive me for that. Please look into that problem and see if I made that mistake. In fact, let me look back over it. A. Oh yes, for A. So I'm making a correction for 25A, right? I do not want to do it with this video. I'm making a correction for 25A. Interval notation, I had this, right? It really should have been a square bracket, okay? Right, so it should have been a square bracket.